and welcome to another one of my videos. Today you find me in Wrocław. I just spent the night in this beautiful hotel. It did the job. I'm basically trying to keep this trip as cheap as possible. Remember, I'm not sponsored by anyone. I am simply doing this to raise money for this vehicle. This vehicle, when fully kitted out, effectively costs 11,000 euros. Armour plating on the back, armour plating on the windows, armour plating on the radiator. You even have drone jammers placed onto this car, you know, just to stop all types of Russian aggression against these people. I hope that it saves lives. That's the intention. Problem we have today, a lot of snow. Problem we had yesterday, if you saw my last video, a 2-hour journey took me about 9 hours yesterday. So I'm heading east. I'm trying to get to the Ukrainian border. Let's see if we make that border today. If I don't, we will be in another Polish destination, wherever that may be. May we have a safe journey. Join me.
Till I drive you away. I know what you'll say. You say, oh, sing one you know.
I genuinely hope that it's going to be a different day than yesterday. I don't want the same repeat. 350 zloty. Well, it doesn't really get more glamorous than this. Soup in a petrol station, but you know what? The Poles do soup really well. I'm hoping it's not going to be like yesterday in terms of the journey. It's already coming the other direction. There was an accident. Snow's going really heavy. Trying to get as far east as possible. My voice is gone for some reason. Maybe the soup will help.
But I promise you this, I'll always look out for you. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
It stopped snowing. That's the news. I have to say I'm finding it a little bit difficult. It's incredibly tiring having driven every single day, morning till night, then editing all my footage. That's the hard part, editing all the footage so over the laptop. It might look basic, the editing, but it takes time. And I think if I wasn't just doing the editing, it would be fine. Just drive, don't think about it. Drive, eat, drink, no issue. But it's the editing, that's the hardest part. I kid you not, it really is the hardest part. No disrespect to drivers. I've got to the stage now where I'm feeling tired, so another coffee. It's slowing me down a little bit because of the tiredness. Also means I've probably got to get back in the gym, get a little bit healthier, get that blood going. But onwards.
But you might have noticed that the same thing is actually happening in reverse. Far right doesn't really mean an actual political designation any longer. It's a sort of slur designed to dehumanize anybody it's used against. And what it means for the liberal mainstream is, I won't engage with anything you're saying because you are, again, suffering from some sort of psycho pathology. You're morally bankrupt. You're not.
Well, another longer than expected drive, but at least I'm pretty close to Ukraine now. I'm in the city of Tarnow. I believe that's how you say it. I'm staying at the Hotel Gal. I think that's how you say it. I'm going to go in now. It's just before 7, so I'm hoping maybe a little bit of time to explore, but as you can see from the weather, I don't know how much of the city I will see. I came in through the north. Other than seeing a sign, I have to say I didn't see much sign of life. So let's see what we see. Just a nice bar would be nice. Maybe say hello to a couple of locals. That would be nice. With the snow coming down and the exhaustion setting in, I figured a little bit of time to take in the town. This is the Church of the Holy Family. It was built between 1904 and 1906 for the missionaries of St. Vincent de Paul. I really love it for just its Gothic look. It feels grand and also welcoming, but sadly not open, so we can't go in. Here I am, in Tarnow. That's the name of the city. Beautiful old tram over here, and it turns out the tram used to run down this street, the sort of main high street. Not much action, but very beautiful streets. Look at these old buildings here. Look at this. It's almost goes back to the days of the Tsar in a way. It has a certain charm, even in the dark and in the snow. So that's a nice tram. Number 7. As we carry on up this street, you can start reflecting about the trams that used to clatter right along here. Tarnow had an electric trams from 1911 to 1942, the red cars buzzing every few minutes from near the station towards the main square. However, the Germans ripped the tracks up in the war for troop movements. A real shame that they were never reinstalled, and that old tram over there is now a cafe. Adam, we meet again. This is Adam Mickiewicz. Remember from all my other Polish videos where we come across Poland's greatest poet, Adam Mickiewicz. Celebrated here, celebrated all over this part of Poland. You might remember from my videos on Wrocław, in Krakow. We see Poznan. Poznan, there's a statue there. Adam is there. They love a bit of Adam here. Like I say, Adam Mickiewicz is a national poet, a romantic bard. This statue, according to the information, was unveiled in 1900, so this statue at least survived the Second World War. Check this out, even the bins are pretty in Poland. That is a sign that you are of a nation that takes pride in appearance. Beautiful square, beautiful things, amazing. A very brief walk past, but that's the cathedral. It's the Gothic Basilica of the Nativity of the Blessed Virgin Mary, and it dates back to the 14th century. But we keep walking because I was freezing and I was looking for food. Well, I would say Poland never ceases to amaze me anymore, but it's a case of I've almost come to expect this. Everywhere I go in Poland, there's beauty to be found. This is Rynek Square. I've been saying Rynok Square for many years, but it's Rynek Square. Look at this. These beautiful buildings. Phenomenally beautiful. There's even, the Irish have made their stamp. There's an Irish pub over here. Some restaurants, museum just over here. Really, really beautiful. I don't think this place gets too many tourists, but probably it does. Maybe in the summer it's heaving with tourists. But I'm pretty sure that in January, February, it's fairly stark. But this is really beautiful. Isn't that a beautiful square? I like it. Very empty, but I imagine during the day there's a fair number of people. It just feels typically very Polish and cozy. I have to say I do like this town, but it was time to get some food. So this is the nice thing about exploring places off season. No one's really around. This is the old Jewish quarter. Here's a Jewish memorial. Over here we have Hanukkah tree. And over here, the Jewish Heritage Centre. So a lot of Jewish presence in this area. Before the Second World War, over 25,000 Jews lived around here. Half the city was made up of the Jewish population. However, during the Second World War, they were purged and kicked out. Most of them never returned, but some Jews still live in these few blocks today. The beating heartbeats of a tree that commemorates Halina Jersky. Wow. I have to say, I'm slightly ignorant. I didn't know there was such a Jewish presence in this town. But here, these are recent photographs of probably what you would consider the residents of this area. Considerable number of them live around here. You can see these are all recent photos. Yeah. Just walking around, nobody around. I like the emptiness of the place. Some really old buildings around here. I'm not worried about chaps in hoodies or chaps that are gonna shank me just walking around corners. No care in the world. Look how beautiful this is. That's what I like about Poland. Very, very safe. Just look this chap up. General Joseph Bem. He's from the town, and I love the fact that he's holding the Hungarian flag. Yeah, he was born here. He was the military engineering commander, fought for Polish independence in November Uprising, 1830 to 1831. Then he became one of the key Hungarian generals during the 1848 to 49 revolution against Austria. Later, he served in the Ottoman Empire as Muzarat Pasha, a proper pan-European freedom fighter. A bit of a legend, really, isn't he? But I love the fact that he's celebrated here, and that's probably his army over there. Beautiful little town. Really beautiful. This commemorates the Battle of Lvov, or Lviv, as we might say today. 300 plus Polish youngsters fought the Bolsheviks, the Soviets, trying to take a last stand on their city. And it's commemorated here, 17th of August 1920. It's a beautiful mural. It's a recent mural, actually, but it's just it shows the patriotism of the people who took a stand back then. And it's interesting because, in theory, that's where I'll be going tomorrow. You've got to realize the Ukrainians and the Poles weren't always best mates. They used to battle, and this commemorates one of those battles.
I know I was wrong, but I won't let you down. Yes, I will.
It's so weird when you get flashbacks of streets. There's a street in Oslo that looks very similar to this. It's not even that late. I love the emptiness. You can see the dates up here. 1899. So this is during the Tsar days. Really, really beautiful. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Lviv, which obviously used to be Polish back then, but it also reminds me of the old quarter in Kiev. The street, I'm trying to remember it. Podil. It reminds me of Podil in Kiev. Very beautiful. And in a way, it seems almost as quiet as Podil. Yeah. A couple of people on the streets. Look at this. Very beautiful. Magnificently beautiful. So there's a random stranger with a pipe, and it looks like a bird in his hand here. Translation, something, nothing happens prematurely. Well, this is true. Some journeys take a while. I like that. I like that. Isn't that great? The randomness of a new city. I have to say, Tarnow is really an underrated gem. If you wanted to visit this city, you could get a flight to Krakow and then get the train to Tarnow. It's certainly a worthy city, at least in my eyes. And I'd love to come back here during the day. Remember, if you can support in any way, every pound, euro, dollar goes a long way. It goes directly to the charity, and you will be greatly helping saving lives on the front lines of Ukraine. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, you could watch one of my other videos, leave a comment below, leave a like, and until next time, keep wandering.
Love.